Hello, good morning or good afternoon, depends on when you're watching this video. But as the title suggests, I wanted to talk about my experience with story writing. So, I was one day I was in my library. I was at my library just reading some books when this guy was approached me. He was like, "Hey, I'm a narrator." And I was looking for someone to do this genie in the lamp thing. For someone to act out my narration. I was like, what? Super interested, right? Of course, because I'm really interested in acting and dressing up and being an actor basically. And we stayed in contact, and then before any of that, uh, we arranged a date. We hung out, and he invited me to this story writing. No, not story writing. Storytelling. This event where there was this event of storytelling, basically, and I was like, what? I didn't know that in my city they did this type of stuff. I didn't know they did these type of things actually. And before that, I went to this cafe, and it was amazing. It was healthy. It was a healthy cafe, and I ate a bunch of food, man. Like healthy oatmeal cookies, like no sugar cookies, chocolate chip cookies, all that stuff. With a bunch of tea, actually. I tasted like three different types of tea. It was super delicious. Holy crap. And I was there, it was this big place. It was a theater, and we entered the theater, and it was quite amazing actually to see these people storytell, narrate their stories, or not really their stories. It meant it's more like creative writing, like narrate their creative story basically. And I felt like I was watching these people talk, and I laughed quite a bit. I enjoyed it. I actually enjoyed being in the theater and watching these people storytell. And I was there, and I realized there was this last guy from Spain who was telling a story, and I felt like I identified with. I felt like I identified. No, really, I felt like I identified with all these guys that were storytelling. But there was this last guy that was from Spain who was dressed up. But he even had his guitar out. He was dressed out, had his guitar, and this guy really knew how to talk, and I really liked that because he was really funny. He was really funny, and I really enjoyed what he said. And I was just sitting there thinking man, I identify. I feel like I identify so much with this guy because we're both musicians, right? And I would really like to get into I you know I would really like to do comedy. I mean, it has nothing to do with storytelling, but I in the future I want to do comedy, stand up comedy, you know, and I want to mix a bunch of things of my personality into comedy, music, dressing up, acting, all that stuff. I would really like to do something like that in the future, right? I just feel like I just feel like I could do really good. I could be really good doing that stuff actually, because I really want to dress up and play wear costumes and act and narrate a story, stuff like that, And earlier before that, I went to my first book club, and we were reading this novel, this love novel, and I already knew how it was gonna from the beginning. I already knew how it was gonna end. Actually, it was really predictable. At least for me, it was really predictable. And but yeah, talking about this, the story writing. I felt like I felt really identified with this guy because this guy was really he was really funny, but I really liked how interesting he made a story. I felt like it was really original, and I liked the whole show he put up. Because he was wearing a costume. He even sang. He even sang some songs on his guitar and stuff like that. And I met like a bunch of people, like a bunch of new people. Actually, I met this psychologist that also storytelled. And I was like, what? Like, there's people who storytell. Like, they're basically artists. And I had a bunch of fun. Actually, I just had a bunch of fun, and it really made me think. It really made me think, like, because I wanna in the future, I wanna make songs, and I wanna. It really makes me think, how am I gonna like grab everything and like put it together in the future, because storytelling has something I wanna grab and I wanna use when I start writing stuff. Because I think I identified with them because I actually, I have written I've journaled. I think it's called journaling. I've journaled my emotions and my thoughts for quite a while, and I just felt like some of the things he said a little bit like, ooh, I like identify with that stuff. So that's what I wanted to talk about. See ya.